Hello and welcome to the Thyroid Education series. My name is Glenn Gruby and I'm the founder of the Functional Health and Acupuncture Institute. So I'm so glad that you're here today and that we were able to put together all of this information for you. This is the first of a number of posts and videos that I've put together to help educate you about thyroid health. And I know that with your attention and with your motivation, we can make some dramatic changes in your health. So this video is a little bit longer, but we have many short videos on many different topics that we will touch upon briefly today that will really help you to understand thyroid health and take control of your own health. So the first thing I want you to understand is that your story is the most important thing to understanding your situation and helping improve your health. It's more important than a lab test. Sometimes lab tests don't always tell the full picture, and if someone hasn't heard your story, then they really can't be expected to help you. So your story is very important. So have you ever asked yourself, what does it mean that my lab tests are normal? How many times have you gone to the doctor and you're not feeling well and he says your labs are normal, everything's fine? And you ask, how can my labs be normal? You might ask, is my doctor even listening to me? Well, if they're normal, why do I feel so tired? Why can't I think straight? Why is my hair falling out? Why do I feel so terrible? And you might start to ask yourself, even if you're going crazy, but you're not going crazy. Then you might finally ask, is it really my thyroid? Is there a problem with my thyroid? So it may be your thyroid, but usually your thyroid is a victim of other circumstances, such as diet, lifestyle, environmental toxins. Many different things can cause your thyroid to be dysfunctional. So it could be a problem with your thyroid, or it could be that in conjunction with other things that we are going to investigate through this course. So the purpose of this thyroid education series is, one, to show you all of the factors that contribute to poor thyroid function and metabolism. And I say thyroid function and metabolism because it could be that your thyroid is fine, but your body isn't responding to the hormone for some reason. Next is to show you why you may still have thyroid symptoms even if your labs are normal. Finally, to show you what you can do about it. So what you're going to learn in this course, this is important. First thing is why you need a full thyroid assessment, not just a TSH and a T4. Those are the two most common tests and popular tests that are done to assess thyroid function. Often they're the only ones to determine if your symptoms are related to your thyroid hormones. We will talk about that in this course. We'll talk about that today. Second is how other body systems affect and are affected by the thyroid, such as autoimmunity, gut health, and we'll talk about leaky gut dysbiosis and food sensitivity in a separate video, stress hormones, nutrient levels and nutrient depletion, liver detoxification, and brain function and depression. So all of these areas both can contribute to and be problematic because of thyroid dysfunction. And finally, how can you take control of your health? So, but first I want you to think of what are your goals, okay? I want you to write down your personal goals and the action that you plan on taking to make these goals come true. It's very important to write these down on a calendar or a piece of paper because it helps you to take action. And a goal without action is really just a dream. It doesn't become reality. Seeing it on paper every day helps to manifest that goal. And know that your health is the vehicle that will allow you to accomplish all the goals in your life. Health is not a destination. So your goal is to really do what was your purpose for being here on this planet? What do you wish to accomplish? And having your health is essential for helping you to accomplish your goals. So you want to take charge of your dreams by taking charge of your health first. So we believe that when you were born, you were given the keys to a Ferrari, but the problem is that no one ever really taught you how to drive it. That is, your health, your body. And so when there's trouble, our system tends to blame the vehicle, such as the car, instead of the driver or perhaps the environment. But when it comes to our health, we really have to take responsibility for our health. For example, if we were to drive this Ferrari very fast on a winter day with snow, and it crashed, it really wouldn't be the fault of the car. Very rarely is the accident due to the faultiness of the car. Usually it's driver error or the environment's impact on that. So we have to take responsibility for our own health. But in another sense, it's not really your fault because there are a lot of environmental factors that affect our health that we don't have control over or we may not even be aware of. For example, let's look at modern factory farming. In 1950, it took 68 days for a chicken to reach its normal weight, but by 2008, it took only 47 days for this chicken to reach a much greater weight, so much to the point where it's sick and its legs can hardly support the chicken. And this has an impact on our food quality and our food supply. And you may not see that from looking at a chicken in the store, but if our food is sick and unhealthy, and this is the building blocks of our tissue, it's probably affecting our health as well. Similarly, there are many foods that we can buy in the store that we believe are healthy and nourishing us, but we can't see the effect of these chemicals and additives and low-level nutrients very easily that are affecting our physical and mental health. There's a major field of study called epigenetics, which looks at how our environment affects our gene expression and our DNA. And there are three aspects to this, or three things that affect our gene expression. The first of these is diet, and we understand now that diet, of course, has a great deal to do with how healthy we are going to be. And we know that certain foods can, for example, promote or protect against disease and cancer. The second is exercise, and exercise is important not only for our muscular health, but our lymphatic system, our digestive system, our brain. And third is our emotional health, what we think, what our stress levels are, having good emotions. And if we have excessive stress, this can affect our health very negatively. On the other hand, if we can learn to control our stress, this goes a long way towards helping our health. Together, 75% of our health outcomes are determined by these three factors, which we have direct control over, and that's good news. By working on these three things, you can have dramatic results in improving your health. We believe that nothing will ever fix your body better than it can fix itself. However, you need to work with the right people that can point you in the right directions, but know that you already have the tools to help your body fix itself. So we think it's time for a new approach, and we use the approach of functional and lifestyle medicine. So what is functional lifestyle medicine? Well, the difference between functional medicine and allopathic medicine can be illustrated by this picture of this tree where we see lots of disease names. The purpose of a medical doctor is to look at your symptoms and classify that into a disease name, such as cancer, arthritis, and then use some type of an intervention to treat the symptoms of that disease. But really, the disease is the result of an underlying process. And this can be inflammation as a broad categorization, but stress, environment, poor sleep, poor diet, and these all play a role in creating disease, and we have to pay attention to these to shift health in the right direction. We need to address these underlying causes to help decrease inflammation and lay the groundwork for health. You have to understand that the body does not work in isolation, but instead works like a series of gears and works synergistically. All the different parts of your body are connected. The health of your digestion affects your brain. Your stress response affects your digestion and your brain, for example. So these must all be considered together, but this can be frustrating because you may be going to many different specialties that look at areas independently and separately when they really should be considered together. So now that you have a better understanding of how functional and lifestyle medicine can help, let's get started. Let's learn about how it can improve your overall health, including thyroid health. Most importantly, our goal is to improve the quality of your life and optimize the functions of all of your systems in your body. So looking at the thyroid, it's a gland called the butterfly gland. It surrounds the trachea just beneath the Adam's apple. Sometimes if you see swelling in this area, it may be indicative of a goiter. Doctor might do an ultrasound or an examination. Or further, what does it do? The thyroid regulates your basal metabolic rate. It controls your metabolism. Every cell in your body has a receptor site for thyroid hormone. It controls the basics of cell metabolism. The thyroid acts directly on the brain, the gut, the cardiovascular system, bone metabolism, liver and gallbladder, steroid hormones, glucose and protein metabolism, and temperature regulation. So if there's issues with the thyroid or thyroid metabolism, you may see negative effects in any of these areas, just like you can see in this schematic here. Some signs of low thyroid function: fatigue, increased sensitivity to cold, constipation, dry skin, unexplained weight gain, puffy face, muscle soreness, elevated blood cholesterol, muscle aches, pain and swelling and stiffness in the joints, irregular menstrual cycle, thinning hair, slow heart rate, depression, anxiety, brain fog, thinning outer eyebrows, cracked heels, and mood swings. So you'll notice a couple things here. Elevated blood cholesterol. If you have high cholesterol, really it's prudent to rule out, is there any thyroid or thyroid metabolism problems, rather than just jumping right to a statin drug. Similarly, you can have pain, joint pain or even muscular pain that may be unexplained, and it may be due to thyroid or thyroid metabolism problem. Some signs of elevated thyroid function include palpitations, heat intolerance, insomnia, increased bowel movements, fatigue, fast heart rate, trembling hands, weight loss, muscle weakness, hair loss, warm, moist skin, and a staring gaze. So these generally are the opposite, and it's important to know that if you have what's known as Hashimoto's, you may be alternating between signs of low and elevated thyroid function as the thyroid gland is being destroyed. At any given moment, you can be experiencing one or the other. Some thyroid facts. The thyroid is a gland that makes hormones to send a message to virtually every cell in the body. All hormones work in real time, which means that they must be made in the right way, in the right amount, at the right time. So the thyroid affects every area of the body. The thyroid is critical for development, growth, and metabolism. Thyroid hormones stimulate diverse metabolic activities in most tissues, leading to an increase in basal metabolic rate and therefore controlling body temperature. Did you know that one of the clinical indications of low thyroid function is high cholesterol? We talked about that. Thyroid hormones stimulate all aspects of carbohydrate metabolism. This is why it's critical for energy, and sometimes we see people with low thyroid function craving sweets. Low thyroid hormone often results in infertility. So if you're having problem with conception, a full thyroid investigation is warranted. Some related factors that you might see on blood tests: elevated homocysteine, which is a blood test marker, interferes with proper thyroid hormone metabolism and promotes inflammation. So you want to check your homocysteine levels if you are having symptoms. High levels of cortisol, which is your body's stress hormone, will decrease levels of your TSH and increase conversion of T4 into reverse T3, which is an inactive form. And stress turns your thyroid hormone production off by design, not by accident. So people with high stress lifestyles will often have thyroid issues because their body is naturally turning down their thyroid hormone production. And many people don't know this, but 90% of hypothyroidism is caused by Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an immune condition. Your thyroid is really just the victim in this case. And this is important because if your dosage keeps slowly creeping up over time, and every time you go to the doctor, the problem is that your thyroid is being attacked and its size is shrinking and hormone production is shrinking. Therefore, you're going to need more and more medication to compensate for this. But you can change the functioning of your immune system because your immune system is very much dependent on your diet and environment. And so learning more about food sensitivities and food intolerances is important. We know that 80% of your immune system is in your gut, but this is an area that is often overlooked, but an area of concern for thyroid patients. There are a lot of mechanisms of thyroid disease, and we're going to talk about a lot of these through our course, specifically autoimmune, food sensitivities, stress, nutrient deficiencies, digestive disorders. So how is the thyroid tested? It can be done in several ways. Blood work is common, gives us specific markers, but it's important to know that the blood levels are constantly changing based on real-time demand. So you can have Hashimoto's disease and on any given day be high or low or right on target. Some would use a temperature test, the Barnes basal temperature test, which is taken at rest first thing in the morning. But really, history and functional testing is the best way to evaluate thyroid because the patient never lies. So if you're not feeling your best, even on a day-to-day basis, even though we cannot see that in your blood work, that doesn't mean that what you're feeling isn't true. It just means we may need to dig deeper, and that's why we listen to your history and do some functional testing and other things that we'll talk about in this course to try to understand the mechanisms that are causing your condition. There are three main hormones produced by the thyroid gland: T4, which is the inactive hormone, T3 active, and calcitonin. we won't talk much about, which helps to control calcium levels in the blood. So I mentioned the first thing I wanted you to get from this course is to understand why you need to test all thyroid markers. And typically when you go to your doctor, they're just going to test this TSH, which is a hormone that comes from the brain that tells the thyroid to work. Okay? But it's not thyroid hormone. When it gets that signal, it will make T4, and it's a 4 because there's 4 iodine molecules on this hormone. But this is inactive, and it has to be transformed into T3 for the body to use it. And this happens mostly in the liver. 60% of it occurs in the liver, 20% occurs in the gut. So you need to have a very well-functioning liver system and a healthy digestive system with good probiotics and good absorption in order for this to happen. And if we're not, you may have a lower level of T3, which the body needs. In addition, stress can affect the conversion into T3. It can block this, and it can also increase a sister hormone called reverse T3, which the body cannot use. And we'll learn more about this throughout the course also on the modules for stress. It can also block the body's ability to use T3. So if you go to your doctor, you may just test TSH, maybe T4, but we need to look at other markers, T3, something called free T3, free T4, and also reverse T3. And even if these are fine, you may be starting to have an antibody attack, an autoimmune attack on the thyroid, and this shows up in these antibodies. So you may be having symptoms even if the TSH is normal, if there's an autoimmune attack that has started. There are many factors that may affect thyroid function. Important nutrients such as iron, zinc, selenium, various B vitamins are important. And also stress can affect both the production of hormone and the conversion of hormone. So many factors that are important to allow your body to be able to absorb the active hormone. So you might be asking yourself, why didn't my doctor tell me this information? And honestly, I don't really have a good answer for this. I don't know why your doctor hasn't told you this, but you understand it now and will throughout this course. And working together with you, we can help you to identify how to take better control of your health through this Thyroid Education series. And I hope this will be very helpful for you. So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a firefighter or a repairman? Are you looking for someone to treat your symptoms when you get sick? Or are you looking for someone who will figure out why you got sick in the first place and then show you how to correct or eliminate the causes and optimize your health to help you feel your best and reach your fullest potential? A firefighter is important for putting out fires, but what you really want to start looking for is a clinician that can function more like a repairman to make sure the house doesn't burn down again, or to show you how to maintain and improve your health. But you really need both on your team. So 5 things that you can do immediately. 1 is adopt a low glycemic, gluten, and dairy-free diet. And if you're not sure what any of this means, you can call our office. We'll be happy to help you understand this. 2 is learn how to reduce stress. Stress is a major contributor to disease, and it's unavoidable that we will have stress, but learning how to reduce and manage this is important. 3 is start asking why. Start asking why you're not feeling so well, and asking why to your doctors, because in order to feel better, you have to eliminate the why that's causing your pain and suffering. You have to get to the root. 4th is get out of your own way. Sometimes we can talk ourselves out of feeling good and the right to feel good as we sort of identify with our pain and our disease. So stop listening to the voice that's telling you not to feel your best, and instead listen to the voice that says you have the right to feel your best every day. But to be your best, your health has to be at its best, and health has to come first above everything. And 5th is schedule a consultation with us or attend a live workshop. We have live workshops regularly that you can find listed on our events page on our website, where we talk about this in person and you can ask your questions. And I think that would be a helpful start for you. So I want to thank you for watching this video. We'll be bringing more information on the specific areas about this in our Thyroid Health Education series. I hope it will be helpful for you. And if you invest the time to understand all of this information, I know that it will change your life and really improve your health.